the state allocation to them. Maybe 1 billion, maybe 2 billion, maybe not 3 billion during the month of elections. Not just that. Here, they said a total of 4.9 billion naira cash was illegally withdrawn from the accounts of the Kaduna state government. Sometimes in April, just 1 month before he handed over, April 2023, they went to the bank. That's also going to be an allocation of the states, local government allocation, the ecological fund, the clinical fund, this one's allowance and all of that. They went to the bank and withdrew 4.9 billion naira cash just a month before handing over to Ubasani. They said a total of about 62 billion naira is to be refunded, okay? 62 billion. This is the money they traced into the SPV accounts. SPV is the short for special purpose vehicles. That is the name they give to using fake companies to siphon government money, public fund. By just a stroke of the pen, billions and billions and billions of government fund can be ferried through them and then to where you will never see them again. In here. But they found that some of them are traceable and they could still recover 62 billion. Imagine somebody who stole 423 billion. And what they could really trace is 62 billion. It's not because they have found it, but they could hold some people to cough out the 62 billion. But at the end of the day, maybe now 1 billion, those ones go give. Now, somebody stole 420 something billion. He will get a lawyer. He will spend maybe 1 billion and the money is gone because the next election, it will remind you that he is not the only person who stole money. In fact, the money was exaggerated. That was not stolen by me alone. And in fact, all the good things I have done, forget about the money I stole. What about that good? In fact, you know what? Forgive me about what oh, no, they never actually asked for forgiveness. That's rare. And then the people they stole the money from, the ones they have denied access to education, access to good road, good drinking water, electricity, access to healthcare, those they have denied safety and security, those one will now gather at a square, looking up to them to promise them new things again. Don't worry, we will give you education. Or we'll send your children this. Or we'll send your wives that. We'll send your husband that. Yeah. Again. Unfortunately. So yeah, Rufire and the Kaduna State House of Assembly, you should understand their fight. And if you are from Kaduna State, I don't know if you are to be happy or not, because at the end of the day, I have given you the whole picture. Somebody stole 420 something billion. He won't even spend 1 billion before the entire case will die. And he can pull maybe 10 billion from the stolen money, reinvest it in another elections, okay? And get rid of those who are trying to probe him. Put his own guys there, like it's happened in Kano. And then before everybody will scream, yeah, oh, yeah, then they will move on. And whenever they are looking for leaders to come and discuss the problem of Nigeria and the solution, the thieves, they will appear as your leaders from the north to the south, from the east to the west. They are the ones who will be on the high table to discuss about the problems of Nigeria and the solution. And then you will see the others, they will sit there. They will be listening to them. The speech of Rufire in Kaduna yesterday is electrifying. Did you hear the speech of Aregbe Mugbana Baba Kabiru? Yeah. Oh, he spoke so well. Did you listen to the speech of so? Those are the criminal leaders. For example, right? You have where's that guy again? The one from Ekiti. If I want. So there are those who will loot you, then they will come back and say they have solution. Listen to them. Baba, see, listen to what he's saying. Yes, everybody, all of them are the same. Baba, all of them are the same. Let's listen to what they are saying. Now they are speaking sense. Now you know get sense. That is why you will know all these criminals. But somehow, when they need you, when they are working your brain, you believe them that they want to come and rescue Nigeria or rescue you, the one they push into the pits. Do you see why they cannot, you can't sell them to people like us? So on this one going on in Kaduna, the whole drama, you will watch it. Okay, the back and forth and the rest. Accusation, allegation, and counter allegations and all of that. Just like that of a Yeye Bello. And then boom, they're going to tell you again about 2027. And they will say everybody is now coming together to come and rescue you, including the thieves. And then you will say, you see, let us forget about that one. We need to all work together. If not, this APC go kill us. So, is that not how it works in Nigeria? So, my own solution is that if you destroy the system that actually create these criminals, and we deal with them the way they should be dealt with, right? And then you have a system that will never allow people like that to actually have a chance to power again, then that is the solution. Break up the shithole and save lives. Or else, it is catch-22. Rat race. There is no amount of victory a rat gets from rat race. It will always be a rat. Do you understand that? These criminals and then the utopia, being at the dystopia you are living, right? The dystopia world you are living in is a rat race. No matter how good you are, no matter how fast you are, no matter how intelligent you are, in that contraption where you are actually thinking you are hustling, I am hustler, I'm hustling. You are an hustler, no doubt. But what you are actually hustling against is a race against yourself, against life. It has been rigged. It is a rat race. There is no amount of win you make or you get from this race of this Nigeria. You are still a ratty. Look at your elites. The people that are richer than Bill Gates, Abi. People that are richer than Elon Musk, they are in Nigeria. Stinking, dirty elites that all they have, that they are so poor, that all they have is money. My friend, do you know who you are talking to? Baba, who are you? You are talking to Eze Gburuburu of Alaye Koshidano, Eze Gburuburu in the shithole. Have you seen my private jets? Have you seen my Rolls Royce? You need to visit my mansion in Lekki. Those are the elite of Nigeria, living in the contraption, the poverty capital of the world. Those are the stinking elites, the Nigerian elites, that all they have is money. After money, they've got nothing. So it is all rat race, my dear. And there's no win, there's no victory you get from it. You are still a rat in that contraption. So you can break the entire thing, the entire system, so that you will never be unfortunate with this kind of rogues. I told you, if you are focusing on Tifnumbu alone, and then the likes of Rufire, 36 types of Rufire pass through the different states in Nigeria every 4 years. They leave behind fears, sorrow, poverty, and blood. Break the system. completely destroy it, and you will destroy their source of energy. They have all the money they can use. In a rigged system, they have all the money to keep all of you in that rat race. I am not a rat, and I will not be a rat. I know you are going to say, I'm not a rat too, but come on. Anyway, the Nigeria workers, they possibly should be aware of what is coming for them. Okay? Somebody said, put the Nigerian politicians on minimum wage, and Nigeria will turn out good. Okay? In a year. And I kind of agree. Most of the things we complain about, lament about, things that takes people's lives, they are the things that could be, avoided. But corruption, selfishness, self-centeredness of these opportunists in public offices and their lackeys and their, I'm talking about their associates, their friends and families. They have now made things that could keep us alive. Things that could keep us alive are now things that are taking us away from it, taking our lives. Where people are dying because they can afford $1 medication, $2 medication. It can be that bad, or $10 medication. But the politician can afford to send their children themselves abroad for education, and they themselves as well for medical attention and medical care. Selfishness. But if a politician is unable to pay the private hospitals for his or her son's health challenge, do you think if they have a chance of approving the project that is going to give good qualitative health care for all, they won't sign it? They would. So, but they became offended yesterday because the Nigerian workers, they shut down the national grid, which means Nigeria had no electricity for a whole day, the whole of Nigeria, in protest, of course, against the poor pay. That the senators were being paid well, the lawmakers are earning well. They are the richest, the highest paid lawmakers in the entire world. And according to them, NSC guys, they have now gone too far in their campaign for good pay. That whatever they are being paid as lawmakers, it's none of the business of the NLC. They should face the executive that hired them without using them as the reason why they are angry because they are not being paid well. Moreover, telling the whole Nigeria of how much they are earning when it is not true is also like setting them up for drag and attack. That NLC is trying to make Nigerians hate them, as if to say you love them. Do you love your politicians? Anyway, they said the NLC is trying to make you hate them. And that's dangerous. And finally, many of them didn't see, they couldn't, they couldn't access public water, they couldn't access electricity, all because of some people feel like they are not being paid well. That is not good. What about all the hospitals? What about the children in the incubators? What do you call that thing again? Like the premature babies. Suddenly, the Nigerian lawmakers are concerned that the workers shut down the electricity without thinking about the hospitals, about the morgues, about the children that need, electricity. The same people who are not mad and angry that the Nigerian national grid was collapsing, and it collapsed 246 times in 8 years under Bokwari. Under Tifnumbu, it has collapsed for over 23 times under Tifnumbu in 1 year alone. Nobody was thinking about the hospitals when they take the electricity in your area for 1 month. And some areas don't even have electricity for the past 6 months. Nobody was thinking about the hospitals. Nobody cared about the children who need the light. But because the airports were shut, they couldn't fly in or fly out. And that affected them and many, many others. That's enough. We are not doing it anymore. This NLC, they don't care. How can you shut airport? All the emergency services. They now care about emergency services. Anyway, let me take you to the National Assembly. They were dragging that. But before that, okay, I'll take you to that one as well later. Let's go and see them, how worried they are. And now, whenever the NLC declares strike, there are some of you who are government workers. You are not expected to strike. By law, they are turning you to the policemen. You cannot strike. If they tell you to go and shut down the seaport, you can't. Shut down the airport, you can't. Shut down this, you can't. You cannot stop elders from going about their normal businesses anymore. This is only reader.
Mechanism and so on. Senate recalls that the federal government on the 2nd April 2024 set up a 37-man tripartite committee with its membership drawn from the federal, state governments, organized labor, and the private sector. The terms of reference of the committee, among other things, is to recommend a new national minimum wage for the country. Also recall that the wage award, which was introduced by the federal government in September 2023, was expected to last for a period of 6 months, within which all the negotiations and deliberations on the new minimum wage must have been concluded. However, the assignment is still going on due largely to due to conditions on the part of the organized labor and the federal government to reach an agreement and have a common ground on the matter. In spite of this development, the federal government, not being oblivious of the hardships of Nigerians are passing through, extended indefinitely the payment of the wage award pending the final determination of the national minimum wage, as discussions are further negotiations are still on. Senate notes that in spite of the efforts demonstrated by the federal government, the organized labor embarked on another indefinite strike, which has shut down all socio-economic activities in the country, particularly in the areas of health, national grid, the ongoing WAEG examination, and air travels, amongst others. This, without doubt, has dire and debilitating effects on our well-being and economies and the country's economy. Senate also notes that globally there is dwindling economic downturn, and Nigeria is not an exception. As such, all hands must be on deck to ensure that collectively we can overcome these challenges we are confronted with as a nation. Senate further notes that consequent upon the meeting held between organized labor and the federal government on Monday, 3rd June 2024, and the resolution reached therein, it is imperative that the organized labor suspends the ongoing indefinite strike to pave way for further negotiations, which are already yielding positive results. Accordingly, Senate resolves to urge the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress and all other affiliates to, as a matter of urgency and patriotism, call off the indefinite strike action embarked upon by them are returned to negotiation table, which is still ongoing. 2. Senate urged the federal government to put measures and modalities.
So that's the beginning, okay? And then others also started talking. This one, the others are not reading. This is them now like speaking out their mind. It's not good. But we also ask the government to please listen to them, but please, don't shut the airport next time. We will need to stop them. What if we have something important to go and do somewhere? And they have shut the airport. The last time my wife was supposed to go and see her doctor. She missed her flight. We cannot allow that. She was supposed to be in Germany. Oh, my daughter was supposed to go for her graduation. Now she missed her flight. We cannot let that happen. That's dangerous for Nigeria. That's very, very dangerous for Nigeria. So we need to make law to stop it. Listen to this one, though. This is Undume. And the supposed deputy Senate presidents. Listen to them.
Because of his attainment. But I'll quick to add that the news has just come to me and some other senators here that the organized labor, comprising of the NLC and TUC, has suspended strike for 1 week. So whether the motion is good, but it has been overtaken by the suspension of the strike. So the Senate or the President will guide the Senate on what to do further. Because obviously, this motion, as good as it is, it has been overtaken by the suspension of the strike. And I feel there's no need to discuss the suspension of the strike having been suspended by the NLC and TUC. I say something, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mohammed Ali Ndume, representing Borno South. Mr. President, the Deputy Senate President has spoken, but I want to bring to the attention of our colleagues that in 2019, in 2019, Clark, you're laughing at me. So even the clerk is trying to laugh.
The clerk is wondering where you were in 1929.
When labor is on strike, you see, it can get confused. But having said that, Mr. President, on a serious note, in 2019, this National Assembly passed a bill in which the minimum wage was pegged at 30,000 per month. And Section 3 of that act, which I have here, and I want to read. Every employer shall pay a minimum wage of not less than 30,000 per month to every worker under his establishment, except otherwise provided under this act. And Section 4 says, the national minimum wage expires after 5 years, and it shall be reviewed in line with the provision of this act. The law is there. So I'm suggesting, as much as negotiation is going on this fact, the national minimum wage is guided by law, an act of National Assembly. And if upward review or otherwise should be the responsibility of the National Assembly. And therefore, in suggestion to the ongoing negotiation, I don't even know where the negotiation will go, because even if it's negotiated, it is the National Assembly that will now make a law to review this one. This one has expired on the 23rd of April. And therefore, I'm suggesting that either this Senate can come under private bill, or the executive should, as required by law, bring an act, a bill.
So this is them still discussing that we don't know if you are aware, the law that says we should pay 30,000 naira minimum wage which 24 states have disobeyed. Okay, 24 states in Nigeria. There are states in Nigeria that are still paying workers in their own states. The states where that Undume, that man that spoke last,